Are you thinking about moving to Belleville, surrounding areas, but are looking for new construction? Then that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to answer the question as to whether there is new development in this area and what type of new construction might be available to those looking to move here. Hi, my name is Jeremy Tremblay. I am a local realtor servicing the Belleville and surrounding areas. Today, we're going to look at new construction, new developments, what's available in this area. Now, if you don't know this area at all, you're looking to move here from whether it be the GTA or any other parts of Canada, then I would highly suggest you check out my other videos where I talk about the different areas and I break down the different communities available around here. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and if you do get any value out of this, if you learn something out of this, I'd highly appreciate if you hit that like button. Let's get to it. So first, we're going to look at where are the new developments. Specifically, we'll focus on Belleville and then we'll look towards Quinte West. If we're going to start the furthest east side of Belleville, there is a new development that's taking place over there. It's in the very early stages. It's East End, off of Highway 2 area. And if you look at where it is right now, it's mostly townhomes that are being developed in that specific subdivision. Now, with respect to where it is in Belleville, East End, if you were to talk to people who have been here for many years, East End was always considered to be a desirable area of town before any of the developments came along. And so generally there are a lot of nice homes, well-kept type of homes in those neighborhoods. And then what they've done is a field in behind and they've started a development there. And so you'll have good access to all the amenities that the East End specifically offers. It's pretty quick access to get onto Highway 2 and you can drive right downtown Belleville. And moving from there, if you continue down Highway 2, you will get to the west end of Belleville. And specifically before you get to Walbridge Loyalist Road, there is the Potters Creek subdivision. Now this one here is in a great location in the sense that you can get to the downtown fairly quickly as well, but also you've got the Bay Bridge, so you can get over to the county very easily, and then enjoying all the waterfront. It's close to that as well. This neighborhood is being built up. There are a number of different builders that are in this specific development, and it has a lot of offerings. So they have townhomes, a lot of single family homes are being built there. And also I've seen a few where they are building what look to be a single family home with 2 garage doors, but they actually have a door around the side because it's purpose built that they have a basement apartment built into these. And then with some of them, the 2 garage doors, there's actually a wall down the middle. So the basement unit will get their own garage bay as well. And so a lot of options in this area. They are nice homes, well built, a lot of plans to continue building that area. And one thing that really makes it nice is I mentioned the access to the water, but Highway 2 to Walbridge Loyalist Road, you get to Highway 401 pretty quickly. And there are not many street lights to get there. So great for those that want to be able to get on the 401 to get whether it be back to Toronto or wherever else. And finally, with respect to Belleville, you'll see the most development when you go north of Highway 401. You've got a few different neighborhoods there. You've got Caniff Mills, you've got Settlers Ridge, and those ones there have been built over time. So you'll look in there and you've got some homes that are, 10 years old. And then as you head more north, you're seeing the new development happening. And very specifically, they actually have farm fields that are in behind these developments. Those are already essentially secured. And so that as the building continues on, they will purchase those lots and those fields and they will continue to develop north. And it really is it's a great area because you've got Highway 401 as mentioned, and then Highway 62 that divides the 2 sides of those new developments. So you can jump onto Highway 62, get to Highway 401, and it's very easy access to all the commercial spaces in Belleville, like Bell Boulevard with all the big box stores. So it's really easy driving. In terms of what's offered in those neighborhoods, a lot of single family homes, whether it be bungalows or 2 stories. And then there are townhomes. A lot of the townhomes there are going to be in like a bank of 4 homes together. And they're generally very nice townhomes, a lot of them being all brick. And then as you move out you'll have lots that are, for the most part, around a 50-foot wide lot. They are starting to do some that are a little bit less than that, which is basically allowing for a smaller footprint of a home. But then the idea is to hopefully bring the price down that little bit. But if you're looking for the widest range of offerings, those neighborhoods north of the 401 have the most houses being built right now. And if you were to ask anybody what the most desirable is of all the ones that I've just mentioned, the north of the 401 seems to be where people are going for desirability aspect. That's not to take away from the other developments either, though, because they are offering great homes. And many of the same builders that you see north of the 401 are building on lots that I mentioned, like down in Potters Creek. So many great options in Belleville. And now if we move along, Quinte West, we'll focus there because that's about 15 minutes closer to Toronto along Highway 401. It's a smaller town. Belleville, you've got 55 to 60,000 people, whereas Quinte West, specifically say Trenton, is around the 15 to 20,000 people. So many would not expect development or too much development, but that GTA expansion along the 401 effect is very much happening here. There are new developments. First of all, if you look south within Quinte West, which is really kind of near the Walmart area, there are a few new developments that have been built up over the years there, continuing to be worked on. And actually, if you drive by now, you're seeing active work and where they're developing the roads as they continue to build up, because the demand is quite high, and it's largely due to that proximity. A lot of great offerings, single family. There's some townhome. There's some even condo style apartments that they're building there as well, with really nice units, which puts you into actually a really nice neighborhood. Also, closer to the 401. So they've been kind of building all along there, and there are some new neighborhoods, some of which are mostly finished, but then they tend to have, like I mentioned in Belleville, an empty farm field right next to them. Well, it's only logical, it's only a matter of time before they build into those farm fields. And those new neighborhoods are all bordering Highway 401. And they're great options with the single family homes, primarily single family in those neighborhoods. Now, there are a couple new neighborhoods being built. Woodland Heights subdivision is one large development that's going to be happening. They have a variety. So the first phase is happening right now in that one, and you can find some really nice homes. There's actually one currently listed at $1.1 million. There's another one that's going to be around $900,000. There's a few different models, and then there's some that are, between $1 million and $1.5 million. And those offer basically everything you'd be looking for. And so specifically with those neighborhoods, you jump on Telephone Road and you can get up to Highway 401 within about 2 minutes. So that's the big feature of that. If you're having to commute to Toronto in any way, living within Trenton and these new neighborhoods is going to be very desirable because it's easy getting on and off. And the other reason why we're seeing a lot of growth in Trenton specifically is because of Prince Edward County. So if anyone has ever visited Prince Edward County, especially if you're coming from Toronto, they'll drive Highway 401. They'll usually get off and go straight down to the county through Carrying Place. Well, to get there, you're going right through the neighborhoods that I just discussed. And so many people are seeing that and saying, I'd like to live in a place where I can go visit the county all week long. Well, this is the perfect neighborhood, because to get the same home that you're getting in Trenton, to get that home down in Prince Edward County will be substantially more expensive. And so if you're willing to basically do the 20-minute drive down there, depending on where you're going in the county, you can buy that same home in Trenton, have access to Highway 401, but also still have access to Prince Edward County and everything it has to offer all summer long. And if you're not wanting to be in Belleville, as I mentioned, or towards Trenton, you could also look to some of the other communities that are a little bit more north. Specifically, there's Frankford, which is about 10 minutes north of Trenton. It has some great communities that they're building up there, and some great housing options and pricing, to be honest, that you can get in that neighborhood. And another neighborhood would be Badawa. So that's located right between Trenton and Frankford, and it has a smaller development. And so they're really building individual homes, And if you haven't seen the video yet on Badawa that I just did, go check it out. Small community with a lot to offer. One thing to know about those homes specifically is that they are being built just slab on grade. So there's no basement. So for many people, they look for the storage. But for others that don't want to deal with water issues, well, that's the perfect type of home to have. So one thing you'll see with all these subdivisions, all these developments, is that the municipalities are really focused on maintaining an active lifestyle. If you look specifically in some of the areas in Belleville that I mentioned, normally you'll see sidewalks on a street, whereas they're actually building with large paved pathways that go through the subdivisions, which allow for biking, walking, rollerblading around the neighborhoods. Within these communities, they all have great parks. So kids can go and meet at these parks. And it's not just a play area with play equipment. They actually have large green spaces that are adjacent to the parks as well. They are very specifically leaving these open so that there's a place for people to go and be outside in their community. And then also, one of the big benefits of being in Belleville and Trenton is that you have access to all the other amenities outside of town. And so right off the bat, I mentioned those living in Trenton and even in Belleville, you can go across the bridge and you can get to Prince Edward County. It's a quick drive over there, and they've got all the wineries, they've got beaches, just nature. It's a beautiful place, and there's a reason why everyone from Toronto loves visiting in the summertime. But also, if you want to go to the water and you want to throw your boat in, and you want to go fishing, kayaking, canoeing, it's a really quick drive down there. Throw your boat in the water and enjoy and have a great day out there. And then if you want to enjoy the trail systems, if you're in the north part of Belleville, you can head north just a little bit more and you will be at the conservation areas where they have groomed trails and you can enjoy it. Even down where I mentioned Potter's Creek, well, there's another full trail system and conservation area there as well. And so when I say this, we're talking about a 5-minute drive to get to these areas from door to where you get out of your vehicle. So it's really easy access. They really promote this active lifestyle and being involved in your community. And so that's something that you're not going to find in a lot of these larger cities the closer you get to Toronto. And that's a reason why many people are coming here to this area. Now, we've talked about all the different development areas. I made it clear that there's quite a bit going on in our area. If you are considering buying and you've never got into a new development before, there are some things that you're going to want to be aware of before going into new construction. There are positives, there are negatives. First off, the positives, which are usually pretty obvious, you get a brand new home. No one else has lived in it before. And depending on what stage you get into it at, there may be some customization allowed as well. So if you come in and you find a lot that nothing has been built on yet, you can talk with builders. And I've had this conversation many times with clients where we can go over, first of all, what lot we'd like to do, go over pricing, and then go over some of the changes that we want to see. And that way we have a plan in place before the building even starts. And so you can watch that progress. Now, the other option is that sometimes people will go and see a house that's partially construction, and they may see that as a great option because they like what's already there, and they also like the timeline and that it can be finished sooner. So those are available. Not as many, but depending on what's on the market, they do come available every so often. Now, the other thing to look at here, when you buy a new build, there are many things that aren't completed yet. So first off, if you're looking at one of those homes that's in construction right now and you're kind of not part of the process of building it, they generally automatically will not have a finished basement. So that's something that you'll have to factor in. You can work with the builder to finish the basement. There's usually a price per square foot for that, or you can leave it and that can be a project that you take on later. But of course, there's the cost associated with it. Some other things to consider, the new neighborhood is there can be dust, there can be mud, there's just new construction vehicles. But once they finish that process and they're finished the majority of the houses on the street, the expectation is that within a year, generally, they expect that you pave the driveway. And if you're living in a single family home, that's a cost that you have to take on, but it's a requirement for the neighborhood. The majority will offer a landscape package, but that's something, once again, you want to check as part of the contract, where they come in and they put sod on the entire lot. If you want fencing, that's another thing that you'd have to take on yourself. So these are additional costs, once again, that can add up when you're taking on a new build versus a resale where someone else has lived in it. they've kind of put all this money into it already. So you're getting that positive, and you just have to be aware of those other aspects that you have to take on. And the last thing that not everybody is aware of is that the deposit amount for a new build is generally much higher than that of a resale. The deposit being the money that you require up front. Sometimes they'll have some leeway as to when it happens in terms of different stages, but you should expect that when an offer is accepted that you may require that full deposit amount right at the beginning. So that gives you a sense of what's going on Belleville, surrounding areas with respect to the new developments. If you made it this far, you must be interested in the new developments. I'd love to continue this conversation. I keep in contact with the majority of builders in this area just to find out what's going on. I check out the neighborhoods, the progress, how quickly things are selling, so I can give you a pretty good idea of what's happening in our market at any given time. I'd love to chat. My information is down below. Like I said, check out the other videos if you're really new to the area and you want to get a good idea. And if you want to visit the area and you want to look at some homes, I'm happy to do that as well. Let's talk.